I'd like to share something with everybody today that touches my heart, and it's something that I think most people can relate to. I hope in sharing this that this relation will help encourage other people to make that connection, that compassion that we show for pets and dogs, cats, and specific animals. I hope that we can find a way to share that compassion with other animals and make that connection to extend that same level of compassion to all animals. So, what I'm going to share with you is a poem by Jimmy Stewart. Most of you know that Jimmy Stewart is probably most notably known for his role in It's a Wonderful Life. Um, Without a doubt, that's probably what most people know him from. Um, he wrote a poem called A Dog Named Beau. I've shared the video before. The video is him on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and he pulls it out of his pocket and he reads this. And I won't do it the justice that it deserves, but I felt it was worthy of sharing. So bear with me as I get through this. It's something that will touch quite a few people. He never came to me when I would call, unless I had a tennis ball, or he felt like it, but mostly he didn't come at all. When he was young, he never learned to heel, or sit, or stay. He did things his way. Discipline was not his bag, but when you were with him, things sure didn't drag. He'd dig up a rose bush just to spite me, and when I'd grab him, he'd turn and bite me. He bit lots of folks from day to day. The delivery boy was his favorite prey. The gas man wouldn't read our meter. He said we owned a real man-eater. He set the house on fire, but the story is long to tell. Suffice to say he survived, and the house survived as well. On evening walks, and Gloria took him, he was always the first out the door. The old one and I brought up the rear because our bones were sore. He would charge up the street with Mom hanging on. What a beautiful pair they were. And if the lights were on and the tourists were out, they created a bit of a stir. Because every once in a while he would stop in his tracks and with a frown on his face look around. It was just to make sure that the old one was there and would follow him wherever he was bound. We were early to bedders in our house. I guess I'm the first to retire. And as I leave the room, he'd look at me and get up from his place by the fire. He knew where the tennis balls were upstairs, and I'd give him one for a while. He'd push it under the bed with his nose, and I'd fish it out with a smile. And before long, he would tire of the ball and be asleep in his corner in no time at all. And there were the nights when I'd feel him climb into our bed. He'd lie between us, and I'd pat his head. And there were nights I would feel his stare, and I'd wake up, and he'd be sitting there. I'd reach out with my hand and stroke his hair, and sometimes I'd feel him sigh, and I think I know the reason why. He woke up at night, and he'd have this fear of dark, of life, of lots of things, and he'd be glad to have me near. And now he's dead, and there are nights when I think I feel him climb upon our bed and lie between us, and I pat his head. And there are nights when I think I feel that stare. I reach out with my hand to stroke his hair, but he's not there. Oh, how I wish I wasn't so. I'll always love a dog named Beau. If you've ever had a dog in your life that you've shared your life with, you can relate to that. There are things that you can think about. Just sitting here thinking about our dog Boomer. Thinking about the things they used to do. Thinking about the things that you miss. Even the things that annoy you. The things that they would do. You do them all again. Just have one more day. That level of compassion most people can relate to. Most people understand. Why is it that most of us only show that level of compassion to the select few? Imagine if we showed that level of compassion to everyone. What a wonderful world that would be.